Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. So I'm here today with my full review of the Samsung Galaxy A53 5G. And a lot of people asked for this one. I put up a poll a long time ago and I spent my money. I bought this. This was not sent to me. So I can say whatever I want. I mean, I would anyway, as you guys know, but it's a decent phone. A lot of people have been asking me particularly how it fares against this guy right here, the iPhone SE 2022, and that's going to be coming in another video. But yeah, they're both good phones. So this one, $449 MSRP. I have some hangups about that because the S21 FE, you can get some really good deals on that a lot of places, but I understand internationally those deals are not always available. So the A53 might be a better deal internationally than it is in the US. So here in the US, we only got the black version and we only got certain carriers are going to get it. And the thing is, internationally, there's different colors. We have the blue, we have the peach, we have the white, and they're very beautiful colors. You've got the Gorilla Glass 5 on the front, you got this plastic back. This is probably the best plastic back on any phone that I have ever used before. And it's got the little camera ramp like it does on the Oppo. Like, I like the way this looks. I think it's very, very chic, very minimal, very, very modern at the same time. And it's pretty cool. So from a looks department, this looks very much like a flagship phone, especially when you look at the front, because it's got a 6.5-inch Full HD Plus display, AMOLED display, up to 800 nits of brightness, which is pretty good for a phone of this caliber and this price. 120 hertz refresh rate, so you get that nice smooth scrolling effect. It's really, really nice whenever you're playing video games, whenever you're scrolling along Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. It's something that if you haven't experienced it before is going to be a real treat for you. I think you'll like it. Ever since I switched over and started using these 120 hertz displays, it really makes the phone experience more enjoyable. So I will say that this is a leg up it has over a lot of other mid-tier phones. Also on the front, you can see you got this little cutout for the 32 megapixel selfie camera. It takes perfectly good photos. And that's the moral of the story for this phone. It does everything good, but it doesn't do a lot of things exceptionally well. Now, the 120 hertz and the screen is an exceptional feature, and you can tell as you use the phone, the big selling point is this screen. 6.5-inch Full HD Plus AMOLED 120 hertz. That's the selling point, and it does that very well. So from a content consumption, from a social media perspective, from day-to-day usage, it's a really good phone. It's powered by the Exynos 1280, which is not the greatest processor in the world. It's actually kind of a step down from last year in the A52, at least a lot of people feel that way. And I kind of agree from a power and a straight line speed perspective. This one, I think they really wanted to get maximum battery life out of it. So that Exynos 1280 is very, very power efficient. So it helps spin the battery a lot more wisely. So you get good battery life, all day battery. You're definitely going to get probably into 2 days. The cool thing about this phone, I used it on and off and I tested something. I never really test phones. I mean, I test them for multiple days, but not on the same charge. Usually I kill it before the end of the day. This one definitely will get you all day. I used it for almost 3 days and got over 4 hours of screen on time and still had like 35% battery left. So the standby time, actually pretty exceptional, even with 5G and Wi-Fi on. I got to give them kudos there. This is an all-day, 2-day staying power phone. Yes, you could kill it in 1 day. It's possible. If you get on there, if you just watch videos all day long, if you play a bunch of video games, if you're on 5G, if you're using GPS, it's possible to kill it. You can kill any phone in 1 day, but how much time you got to spend on your phone to get there might be a little unreasonable for most people. So excellent battery life. The biggest hang up I have is it feels laggy. Now, some people it might not feel laggy. If you're used to $100, $200, $300 phones, it may feel perfectly fine for you. And this phone is not designed for me. This phone is not designed for Adam J. Matlock, Tech Odyssey, somebody who uses flagship phones all the time. So I'm a little bit more sensitive to that issue than probably most people would be. So it might not seem laggy to you, but to me, there's definitely a delay when you open apps, whenever you switch between apps. That's when I feel it the most. If I'm switching and I'm going from my YouTube Creator Studio and I'm moving over to Twitter, I'm trying to start typing, it can kind of take a second sometimes to kick in for that stuff. And the other time is whenever you're taking photos. So this one right here, it has the typical Samsung shutter lag. So you press the button and it doesn't take the picture right away. And then if you have a moving target, if you have low light visibility, then it starts doing the processing too. So it can take sometimes a long time to take a photo. It doesn't always get the ideal photo, especially when you're dealing with small children and animals. I tried to take several pictures of my dog and they just came out like half blurry picture of the face. And let me show you real quick. it just did not turn out the way I wanted it to. Like right there, I was trying to take a picture of my dog, and it's like, oh, blurry face. There's another one. It's blurry. So moving targets, not the greatest in the world, because that shutter lag is it's just too long. And Samsung is really bad about this. But when it does take a good picture, it looks really good. I had some where I took some pictures and I was like, wow, like that's a really good picture of my dog's face. It works great with portrait and with the bokeh effect. Like you can get some really good pictures in here. So the quality of the camera itself, 64 megapixel. You've also got the ultra wide. You got the macro, so you can get your up close and personal National Geographic shots, 5 megapixels. That's pretty good. So it's like a jack of all trades, but it's not exceptionally amazing in a lot of the areas on a phone. So definitely not flagship caliber, but it's definitely a well thought out mid-tier device because they threw everything in the kitchen sink at it basically other than wireless charging. It's even got an IP rating, so IP67, which means you can have it under a meter of water for like 30 minutes and it'll be fine. Now, I don't encourage you to take this out in the water, but just throwing it out there, it's got that. So that's a nice feature you don't typically see on a lot of lesser expensive phones. So you've got the 120 hertz, you've got the 5G, you've got, it says the base is 4 gigabytes. I don't even know where you can get one of those. I think most of them start off at 6. So you can get 6 gigs of RAM, you can get an 8 gig model, you can even go up to 256 gigs of storage, but you got to pay extra for it. But it does have expandable SD card support. So this is one of the few phones that Samsung still has in their arsenal. You can put an SD card in here on top of the storage, top it up that way. That's a nice thing that you can do. So camera's pretty decent. Screen, beautiful. Battery life, excellent. And then a lot of it just comes down to that processor. The Snapdragon would have been better. If they put like a 7 series Snapdragon processor in here, it would have been perfect. It would have been really perfect. But then it would be really hard to try and get one of those other like lower flagship phones like the S21 FE, because then it would be competing too much with that one. And that's a problem Samsung has, is they're continually undercutting their other phones. So if you're in the US and you can get an S21 FE for a similar price point, definitely jump on that. If this is the best you can get for the price point, I think you're going to be happy with it. And that's when I try to relay that here, because yes, me coming over from a flagship phone, not the most amazing experience in the world, but at the end of the day, it offers so much. You get the big battery, you get the beautiful screen, you can play some games on here, you can play Call of Duty Mobile, you can play PUBG on here, you can play Boom Beach, of course, Alto's Odyssey, and the Exynos chip handles it just fine. Again, I really would have liked to see maybe a lower middle Snapdragon series processor in it. I think that would have helped out a lot, even if it wasn't this year. But the importance was they really wanted to keep the power consumption down. They wanted to be able to do a lot of stuff, and they wanted to throw 5G in there and get it around that $400 price point. So it's loaded out, and you can even see with the bezels on here, the bezels are so minimal. It's almost an edge-to-edge display on here. The AMOLED is beautiful, the power consumption is low, and you can use it for a long time. And again, if you don't like to charge every day and you use 2-3 hours screen on time on your phone a day, maybe even more than that, this one's going to last you 2 days on one charge, and then you can recharge it with the 25-watt charger, which is nice, except for the fact that there's no charger in the box, which does irk me. At that price point, the mid-tiers are still very popular with a lot of consumers who may not have a bunch of chargers laying around like I do. So I wish they would have thrown a charger in there. You can get a 25-watt charger pretty cheap. Go out to Amazon, buy one maybe from Anker or something like that. They make really good chargers for very inexpensive prices. I've been using them for years. Not a plug for them, really, but they're just a good value. You can check down in the description. I'll put a link there, but I've been having problems with Amazon affiliate links lately, so just check there. I'll have a link for the phone as well down in the drop down. If you're interested in buying it through that link, it helps support the channel. It's an affiliate link. If you don't want to buy it through there, you don't have to at all. No pressure whatsoever. So yeah, USB charging on the bottom. Stereo speakers, the speakers are good. They're not the most amazing in the world, but they are good. You have Bluetooth, so you can listen to your wireless earbuds and you can connect them to your headphones that way. And it has NFC, so you can do your wireless contact payments. So this phone is very well rounded. It basically has every feature you could ask for. And that 120 hertz display, like I keep coming back to this. The screen is the best selling point. Then the 120 hertz is so nice. You get this big display. A lot of times when it comes to cheaper, lower tier phones, they sacrifice a lot on the screen. They'll give you an LCD. It won't be very bright. It's not fun to use. When you carry it around and show off to your friends, it doesn't look like an amazing phone. this is something you can show off and is very, very appealing to the eye. It's eye-catching. It's got some nice colors if you get one, especially an international one. I bought this one off of eBay internationally. I think they're going for like $397 brand new now. So that's a good option there in the United States without being subject to just getting the black one that you might have to get from a carrier. So that about wraps it up. Yeah, it's even running Android 12. It's got One UI 4. It's got the latest and greatest everything. It even falls under the 4 years that it's going to get operating system updates and the 5-year security patches. So 4 years, you'll be able to use this phone and keep getting the new operating system. And then for an extra year, you're going to keep getting the software updates. And the software updates have been pretty spot on with Samsung for the last year or two. They're definitely hanging in there with Google, even though Google has made some slip-ups lately. So I've been impressed with it. Like I said, coming over from a flagship phone, I don't want to be punitive towards this phone, because at the target market and the target price, I think this offers a lot. I think it offers a lot more than you're going to find from a lot of other $400 phones. And it's a seriously competitive phone that's going to last for a long time for somebody who just wants a good phone that has a nice experience, that you can sit there and you can do your social media all day. You can do some light gaming. It's perfect for kids and teenagers. And there's even plenty of accessories for it on the internet, so you can get accessories for it as well, especially checking on Amazon. So I give it like 2 thumbs up. I think they did a good job. Again, look at the prices competitively, because like with the US, again, the S21 FE, there's been some really good deals on it that bring it down to about the same price. I would definitely recommend that over this if you can get it for maybe the same price, 50, maybe even $100 more. But if you can get one of these for $250, $300, $350, $400, and that's the best option you can get in your area, or there's an option for a trade-in or a carrier deal. I know Metro by T-Mobile is offering some stuff, or they were. It's definitely something worth considering, and it's probably going to make you happy, and it's going to last for quite a long time. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and a little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.